This is Victoria, and this is Ferris. And both of them, as you can see, are invading my personal space. They do that because every time that they invade their guardian's personal space, she pets them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two treats. I'm going to make sure Victoria sees them. There we go. And I'm going to give them to her guardian. And now we're creating a bit of a longing to, and just go ahead and put your hands at your lap.
Sit.
Okay, go ahead and give her one for sit.
Oh,
there you go. And we would just say sit.
No.
All right. But basically what we're going to try to do in this video is we're going to demonstrate how you can claim your personal space if you have a dog that's really needy. So right there, so I want you to use the first consequence that we went over next time she invades your personal space. Now I'm going to have you actually get up, walk to your TV, turn around, and walk back and sit on your chair. I think that reset might help. There you go.
All right.
So what I had told the guardian, what I'd like her to do is when the dog gets a foot, approaches you, right there, that's a foot. So that would be, there you go, perfect. We want to hiss when the dog is at about a foot away from us.
Okay.
Now we can do, we talked about petting with the purpose and passive training off camera. We can use the passive training. If the dog approaches us, we can pet the dog for coming to us, but not if it invades that 1 foot zone. We want to create a 1 foot buffer of personal space. She's of course respecting it now because we're filming it. But she was sticking her nose on your chin, on your shin. She was just coming right up and getting your space, and he does the same thing. So one of them, I think, is going to come back around and hopefully do that in a sec. And I want you to use the escalating consequence. So get ready. Hip. There you go. Now stand up. Turn to face. Turn to face the dog. You have to keep your belly button pointed at the dog at all times. Now he's stationary, so take a small step back, just a tiny 1 inch step back. And then now you can go ahead and grab a seat again.
All right.
So in that case, that was a little bit bigger of a step back. I would have you just take because you didn't want to move away from the area because you're just saying, I want to sit here. I just don't want you in my personal space. Now the dogs are going to come back again over and over again because in the past, I mean, Victoria doesn't have this because she's only been here for a couple weeks,
right.
But Ferris has been here for a long time. And she's watching. There we go. So get ready. Okay. So she's, of course, now she's not doing it. But when she approaches, again, we're going to hiss.
She is a border collie, so she is
she is very smart. But when she approaches, there we go, hiss. There you go. She recognized that. Now tell her to SIT.
Sit.
Now lean back in the chair and cross your legs. And look away. Perfect. So what you're saying is I'm asking you to do the smallest thing possible. If you want me to pet you, you have to do something to earn my affection. And I'm asking you to sit, which is the smallest thing that any dog can do. As soon as the dog sits, and pet him under her chin and say the word sit. But if she gets closer than a foot and you continue to pet her, she's going to get more and more needy, essentially. So what I want her to do is just start to learn that I need to come near her and stop about a foot away from her and sit down, and then she'll pet me. And after we do that enough, then she'll learn this is the proper way to ask for attention. Okay. But right now, she invades your personal space and you pet her. Sit. 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 Now Ferris is an older dog. He has some issues with his joints. And so sitting for him is a little bit hard. He's 13. See if we can get him to sit. The hardwood floors makes it a little bit challenging. We talked to the guardian about a little trick for that. And if the dog doesn't sit, I'm not going to say it multiple times. Then you don't get the affection. But right now, you see, I have about 1.5 feet of personal space between her and me. Where for you, you have like not even an inch of personal space. And again, every time anything your dog is doing when you pet it is what you're rewarding. So if they invade your personal space and you pet them, you're training them to invade your personal space to ask for attention. So what we're just saying is I want a 1 foot buffer personal space. Now, if you would like later on, I wouldn't do this for now because it's confusing, but eventually if you would like to invite the dog to jump up on your lap and you make the invitation, that's different. Right now, they're not, right there, so she's getting pretty close again. And again, it's a neediness, but it's an insecurity and it can create more of a we're amplifying and promoting that neediness, and that leads to more and more insecurity, and that can lead to separation anxiety and a whole host of other problems that we want to avoid. So, of course, you didn't cooperate and invade very much space after the first correction, but maybe she's smart. It's going to take a little bit of practice because you're single. It's going to be a little bit harder for you. You're going to have to really practice this. But the more that you ask for that sit and you pet with the purpose, the more they're going to sit in front of you and give you that buffer of personal space. And if you catch yourself, the dog invades your personal space like this, and you start petting him like, oh, sit. And he doesn't sit, then lean back in your chair, cross your arms, and take your head up and look to the side. And that way the dog will learn that the only way I'm going to get attention is by offering a desired behavior, and this invading of personal space no longer works. Isn't that right, Victoria? Well, this is how you can teach a dog to stop invading personal space.